anymore. Because 17 of my family members are that. They're just not MAGA. Which is, I think, very interesting.
You know, one is the way you get to the MAGA is through people who are particularly religious because they are looking for people to listen to and be told what to do and just do it. You know, religion literally says, you know, God said it, I believe it, that's so. And so that's how you get MAGA. You get people who are, the more they push religion, the more they're able to push MAGA.
Well, I was born in the SBC, the Southern Baptist Convention people. They're technically fundies. Imagine the Duggar family, and that's about right. Just not that part. It's just weird. My family is ultra conservative, like die on that hill kind of thing.
Right.
But they hate Trump.
That's super interesting. Why do they hate Trump?
Because it's a very complex thing, but I think if Trump was the kind of guy that was like white, straight, and perfect, they'd love him. But because he's the worst part of my race, that's why they don't like him. And it's not for good reasons.
But is it because they are religious and he doesn't live his life that way in spite of whatever he says and holds the Bible upside down? Is it that kind of a thing, or is it...
My parents, all 17 members of my family, hate him not for good reason, because he doesn't live the life that somebody in that group would.
But...
Yeah.
And at the risk of defending your family, at least they are consistent. It's the inconsistency that it's the hypocrisy that makes me crazy. Are you religious? Are you not religious? Do you believe these things or do you not believe them?
I mean, if Trump was a decent person with integrity who actually lived the way they believe, they would probably sane him.
Right.
But they don't not like him for good reasons. It's because he's making a mockery of their beliefs. That's why.
It's just a step better than the ones who follow him, even though they're making a mockery. He's making a mockery of their religion and their beliefs.
Yeah, but anything Trump does that makes Christianity look good, they like. So it's all self-serving. Which is, I actually took a class in school of why people are MAGA. And they fit into 3 different categories. But the majority of people like Trump because he's giving them what they want. They don't care if he's causing harm to America. They just want what they want. They want their white privilege. And they would follow Satan to get it.
I think that, yes, and they do, by the way, and maybe they are. But the thing I think that is
part of the 1%, especially if they're white and straight, who's in a position of power, irks me. Because you know they're not going to vote for our interests. I mean, Trump just this week asked someone what grocery shopping was.
Yeah. No, I think that there's the fact that there's a 1%.
Hold on. Is he okay?
This is how removed our leaders are from our reality.
By the way, all of our leaders, on both sides, because our leaders...
You're saying that Joe from Scranton